want your opinion. I'm yelling at gang member. I'm at 10507 Aurora Avenue North, Seattle, Washington, 98133. And the bums have been threatening me all morning, including bums and skulking around that have actually been streamcast. So either it's the hall, which I doubt, because you'd be able to see things all, and then the management would have to actually hide footage, so it's probably a space. And then also you'll hear voices behind the shower and behind the sink. Janitors wraps around. And allegedly some of the Seattle Police Department comes here, and I believe it. And it's supposedly Officer Bobby of the West Precinct. And so you could actually do gang spotting in these neighborhoods. There are usually cameras on everything these days. Blocks have cameras. So there's Northgate Way that's very close. The bums are agitated. One of those doors. And it sounds like all of them probably with some. But they're on, but a lot of them seem pretty outrageous. Threats here. Shouts, and you can hear taking down the halls and at their door. Check out the camera. They're going to pretend they're not. Now, remember, some of these gang members here portrayed that I was, what? Now, there's two security guards, two of the gay lovers of Officer Bobby. And his gay lovers are allegedly here. Now, I paid some rent yesterday, last month, they let some rent just lie, and they didn't cash it. It was the 29th. Then I was happy, satisfied with my accounting. I was like, oh, yay, I have this much money in my account. And it turns out they hadn't cashed some of the check, or they hadn't cashed the check. So something odd went on with that. Security guards that are here, now they have no jurisdiction whatsoever. They don't work here. Pulling full support of the Pike Place Market, and they work for the Pike Place Market Development Authority, and they had full support of some bums in the Seattle Police Department, including Officer Bobby. Then there's a guy who comes here. Now, Officer Bobby's West Precinct. So let's get this straight. If Officer Bobby comes here, he's West Precinct. Even if he's skulking around, he's West. This is North area. Now, then there's a tri-court guy from 13 years ago who wrecked my... I've had, acid. These are my handprints in case anything happens to me. Those are glass scratches for continuously trying to pathetically clean up glass in my apartment. Glass and Bloods, Zetas, or Asian Street Gang, or another gang of Washington, looked to actually see that in my, it's not constantly, they have house-breaking tools. It's not that they're skilled, it's just that they have house-breaking tools. It's not really a big deal. So, anyway, let's see. Another police department person is supposedly, so it's Officer Bobby. This is a guy who tried to get arrested because I did what you're supposed to do when you're threatened with prostitution in this shop. She even told me, she said, you don't know who I am, because I pulled stun gun. I didn't use it on her. In fact, the stun gun was chipped and damaged. I actually ended up. He looks like a sack of excrement with a gourd head thrown at it. He's an old guy, and he's in on plots against other states, including Virginia, I think. These bums are threatening other countries continuously, particularly the Western world, obviously. But their primary target chemical sensitivities, chronic fatigue, and I want to explain that time when I reported a probable gang, a gang at Tri-Court Apartments at 132nd, 133rd in Aurora, and it was Unit 333. Then this cop who looks, I think he's a bigger guy, and he was not that old at the time looking. I had the impression of 30s because apartment, and some of the gang members that lived below me were named Canos, and there was an adjacent building which has since been remodeled, and it's quite nice looking, and a fountain. It just looked like a big square mess, like when I was there. There were people involved. It was an oddly, you know how it's like there's, and the rooms were small, but some apartments that were to the left and to the right, and gang activity, and they used to climb right up through the Canos patio so that they wouldn't be noticed on security camera. It's kind of funny because you get gang members like, I don't want the other gang members seeing me, like, out. And there's somebody like yesterday, they were threatening me with mugging, and they were pretending it wasn't my suitcase, my backpack, this thing, which is mine every year or 6 months. Bought probably more, but they no longer have them. But the other end of this, it's called a high tech, and the reason these is because my life is very now, and I have to be rough and ready for mug instead of like because creep at the Seattle Police Department, security guard for Tri-Court, which is the Seattle Housing Authority building, involved in a gang rape, and then for 13 years, excuse me, I have to curse. What you do is you curse back, excuse me. When I was there, these people were Satanists. Now, I was sort of, I wouldn't call myself a pagan. I was into an alternate religion which didn't involve animal or human sacrifice, ever. I'm not into that. But all the Seattle cops that are involved, and are all involved with satanic belief system and practice, and they're involved in human sacrifice and animal sacrifice, but not only sacrifice, but torture, and they're in on body crimes, like they're going to have shops. Now, this doesn't mean like a body shop, like a car, or like there's a place called Body Shop, and maybe it's for to cut everybody up, and it'll be like an organs trade. They want to whites, and they're going to destroy all the whites and rewrite history. Have absolutely, because these people could see and hate those the inferiors, including this dirty, filthy, grotesque cop. Kill me because I'm telling this. And so we've got bums hiding. Hi, this is Aurora Avenue 33, and there's probably a crawl. I don't think they're in the hallway. And then around the Diggly, and also people from places. They actually don't have any jurisdiction off investigations. Let's make it clear. Also been dumping toxins down in the water, threatening other countries with their gang members. And by the way, as I'm talking, there have been a lot of, including the slamming the door. He was also conducting control people in other countries by psychic attack. Satan gave them that stole power. So it'd be like in Russia, and you don't feel good all the time. In America, is psychically attacking you to control you, and then at the same time, hypnotic messages. So we tried to blame Russia for that years ago, to fall with Satan, and one of the horrors just snapped her fingers and see these stinky in the wall, shaking and rattling chains. It's a stinky hooker, an ugly bitch, and would destroy everybody and everything in their wake, and he would get fucking fingers at me, whore. You just destroyed all your DNA and snap your fingers. So, and were hard on ours. They want you to, every time they've attacked me, they've attacked all of you, including themselves and their ancestors. I'm staying siege today. One of the crusaders. One of the Templar knights might not have had more fun than off by himself. And I'm not making fun of them. They were one of the bravest batch of men you could ever find, ever. Coward in France who decided, and there were French Templar knights, by the way. Frenchman decided that he didn't want to pay, and I'm not making fun of French, because, you know, obviously there were French Templars. He decided he didn't want to be church, and he used the Catholic Church to do so. I think it was Catholic Church. In reality, people are Satanists. One of the curses they put on me that I was Satan. So I lied with great people whom were portrayed as Satanists. I'm in a brave lot. And that includes accused witches that were not witches. So they put a curse on me. They put a curse on my favorites. And one of the bums who put a curse on me, his name is Michael Benjamin Davis Wood. His mother and he have since become homeless. And yes, I do name names. And they portrayed me as Satan. One of the whores is whispering and she's whispering. Bum playing convince you. And see, the bums are playing forced prostitution and other forms of slavery, like taking care of the extra building. I'm going to take care of them all right. I'm going to throw out the window. It's cold out. One of my errands anyway. I actually my cases where they can dump stuff like glass. It's a popular dumping types of glass. They'll either put it in an ointment, they'll put it in your food, which obviously you know what it does. Your stomach basically could just be a mass of the Elizabeth Gregory home, and well, I'd say most of them, they get paid to and continue green eyes. So they targeted people that, especially satanic bombs in the U.S., to target somebody, destroy them, and then protect characteristics, promote them as whom they've destroyed. You'll black Nazi rejects like the crack whore, like or hair destroying Norwegians or Scandinavians, enslave them and torture them in the spirit world, and they'll be involved in rape, murder, against them in other countries by their connection to Bloods and other gangs and other terrorist activities or groups. And in a normal way, it moves a situation like this. It moves them into a protection. So then they get sort of shut your thinking. Yeah, I think the whore in there is Stephanie. She's a smelly dog, and she's a heroin addict. She's her arm till it fucking falls off. She gets locked up all the time. American slum. Satan and armed act, which I call survival of the shittiest, of the unfittest, where really bad, horrible DNA that should have been destroyed. And if I were an alien, the planet would destroy. Absolutely, all of it would go. Nothing left. It's garbage. It's been garbage for 30-some years. Garbage, derivatives, the alcohol, the drug use, toxin, even the this is out to the smoke. The cops will protect this shit in the wall. Social services, because they have their own little dumb bags linking to people like Officer Bobby, and then the ugly bag of shit that tried to shoot me and couldn't almost 2.5 years ago or so. The Dirty Cops are their favorite charities. One, it links with that's why. Snap your fucking fingers for them. Another whore she is. A shit-laden whore. Officer Bobby and the rest of the shitty cops that have aligned themselves with these other bastards and allied themselves with them, they are the same hell. All of you are bitch. Up. And let me phrase this. These are cops that come here. They get fellatio from the whores like Stephanie. So Stephanie then thinks the cop gets loyalty from the whore, but the police would not like them here, especially if you have an ATF. If they're faced with a cop with a gun, absolutely not easy to prove or to out what they're doing, and the big one could happen. And these cops know it. It's going to be recording activities with the hookers and the bums of this area all up and down this street. It was befouled and evil anyway. Just like the Pike Place Market is. Pike Place Market, it was the child kidnappings that was, eventually busted by some cops who cared. But believe me, there are some people still out there that the dirty cops and the Bloods and Zetas and Asian street gangs, probably mostly Bloods, have covered up for. That were involved in those child murders and rapes. But these bums always. So either it's a corrupt A, or B, it's weekends, every other third weekend. So all you do is call us cats of the bitches, send them off to President Obama before anyone could do anything. And you're going to find out a different story. You've got a black Nazi fag threatening me with Marines. He's a black Nazi fag without any kind of power at all, except his yapping Nazis. You're a faggot. Marines are going to be noticed by ATF, you little fuckbag bitch. Faggot. Retard yesterday, that reminds me. He had on fatigues. Begetting Lisa or sacrificing Lisa. It was something menacing. He knew my name. He was an ugly faggot white guy, and I'm going to call him fags. Why? Don't worry. One of the bums said that was my ugly bitch. Somebody on the bus, and I'll have to remember which bus it was, and then the fag just stated, they're going to be invincible. But, Flitch, if you use magic, I'm going to use magic, and they're no more invincible than a... So I'm not going to use any retarded rejects. One of the bitches just named this guy. He was sort of a tall, lanky, white guy. I changed an ugly black dark with gray hair. Just plain. One. I want to show you your grandmother's all bitch. Years these ugly. They've threatened me about my mother, grandmother. They're all gone. They're all tortured. See as well the spirit world as well as they can. So I'm figuring out the time frame of this ugly black Nazi bitch, and I'm going to call Metro. Psychotic and you're not going to control me. You're not. You're a bunch of scum. You're a bunch of afternoon Any clothes, female. That would be 6. There we go. Or possible, no. Put that bust. You're not scaring me about the 4. And they just took head, and one of the bums is playing, blowing your head up. Head. The black Nazi bus drivers, Zeta, attacked Lindy Radic whore. She doesn't know. Before, during, and after crimes, they like to claim, you're honest. And remember, who's with them? The and the others, because they like to ally themselves with these people. So they get that benefit of, you're racist, to hide their crimes under. So it's probably an old crack hook. And the cops are black Nazis in their hostile takeover plots. And remember, that protects the corrupt about whites and others that aren't black Nazis. You're racist! And just took Stummy's playing Halloween. Shut up. You're not going to control me. You're not going to do it. End up arrested or worse by people coming in and curse on. So the whore talks to me like, what am I going to police? Well, the police you can't really tell because they're in on it. 805 for you. Might have been 805. Call. Be back.